Hi everybody, welcome back to this week's my weekly CBS fix. Hope you are all having a wonderful week. This week's parsha, Parshas Va'era, is the beginning of all the plagues descending upon Paro and his entire nation. And they went from blood to frogs, or according to others, crocodiles, to lice, to wild animals, to a pestilence, a plague. An epidemic, however you want to translate it. The next one was boils. And at the end of each one, we find Paro running and being desperate to get in touch with Moses and to beg him to please get rid of these plagues. They're just too much for him. And what happens? Moses prays, the plague leaves, and Pharaoh then hardens his heart and says, you know what? Changed my mind. I'm not sending out the Jews. What did he say beforehand? Please, just get rid of this deathly plague and I will send out the Jews. And then the second he felt a little relaxation and a little less pressure, and it wasn't there anymore, this issue, so then he went right back to hardening his heart and choosing to not send out the Jewish people. The question I want to share with you is, are we any different than Paro? I mean, unfortunately, many of us go through a trouble, whether it's a sickness, God forbid, or whether it's struggling with money or looking for a job, and we turn to Hashem and we say, please, God, if only you will send me that job, then I'll do this and this, and I will change my ways. If only you help my great-great-aunt have a refuah shlema, a complete recovery, then then I will give more charity, and I will pray more. And what happens? God sends that person the job. And they said, oh, thank you. And they're so thankful. And then slowly but surely, they just go back to life exactly how it was beforehand. So are we any different than Pharaoh? The wicked king over the entire Egypt? Are we not the same people? How are we not different? And are most of us not guilty of the same thing? And the answer is most of us all are guilty of the same thing. But there's a difference. The difference is that Paro was a king over an entire land of Egypt, and he took counsel from no one. He was me, all into himself. He made himself out to be a god, as a matter of fact. And when you lead such a lifestyle, there's absolutely no hope for you. Yet, among people that are actually really serious about their lives and making their lives better, they will always surround themselves with good counsel and good people that they could turn to in times of need and make those people a part of their lives. And when they then turn to their rabbi and they ask their rabbi, please pray on behalf of my great aunt. And if you do, and she has a complete recovery, then I'll come study with you once a week, or I'll give more charity to this, or I will do tshuva. So then they now have this person that's involved in their life that will hopefully make sure to see this idea through and make sure that they stay strong to that commitment. Like that, they're opening themselves up to being humble, and that humility allows them to then carry through with whatever commitments they had chosen to make at the time of the suffering. And that's actually one of the purposes of that suffering, that you should make that commitment to come closer to Hashem. And Hashem says, that's exactly why I made you lose that job, because through losing the job, you felt this need, and because of that need, you then challenged yourself to do something, and you're able to do it. But the best way to be able to do it is not act like you're a god and that you're in charge, and the situation that just presented itself now is completely gone from your mind. No, make sure always to be able to follow through with whatever it is that you're doing. Otherwise, you will, or you are, just like a Pharaoh, like a king of Egypt, who only lives for himself. And when the troubles happen, they look out for help. But when they're gone, they act as if they never happened. That's a wickedness. Have a great Shabbos. Talk to you next week. Bye.